Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I think we are live, Dave. Hello, I'm Peter Greatorex from the Apartment Company, and this is the first in a series of interviews that we're going to be doing with local business people, just to sort of get a little bit of insight into their businesses and what they've been doing through lockdown. And today, it's a face everybody recognises, I'm sure. I'm delighted to say hello to my friend Dave Dixon at Minuteman Press. Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Hi, Pete. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody else tuning in this afternoon.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Well, as I said, thanks ever so much for joining. So the idea of this is just to sort of find out a little bit about Minuteman, Dave. So should we just dive straight on in? And if I just ask you, tell me a little bit about Minuteman. How long has it been in Bath, and what you generally do?
Yeah, Minuteman Press, we've been in Bath now since 1998, so we're going into our 22nd year. Traditionally started off as a photocopy shop. We're very much now more of a print design agency, doing absolutely everything that people ask us to do in the way of getting their image on paper, on digital, serving hundreds, and it has been hundreds and thousands probably over the years, of customers across Bath and further afield, more around the southwest these days.
Yeah, it's you've got a wide client base, haven't you? So who are your sort of typical customers, Dave?
Yeah, well, it can really be anyone who maybe walks in to get their wedding stationery done for a wedding, a few photocopy jobs, through to agencies who buy print, and we may ship that printing anywhere in the world for them. We've got a growing market in direct mail. We think moving forward that's going to grow further. People are going to be want to send things out more in the future.
That's interesting. So do you not think there's more stuff going on digital? I suppose people still do like print, don't they?
Yeah, people still like print, and I think we've had a whole generation kind of grow up with just receiving things digital, and they get something through the post nowadays, and they get it in their hand, and they're tending to respond a little bit better to it. So, and I think this past few weeks we've had restaurants who have become takeaways, who have been talking to us about doing mailing campaigns. They're doing a lot of social media, but we all live in a bit of a social media bubble. So unless you're already connected to something, or someone spending a lot of money in advertising pennies to get on your feed, we're finding that kind of direct approach now, back through a letterbox, tends to be working again, which is a bit of an interesting turn up for the books.
It's kind of full circle, really. I certainly know from our industry and our business that we do get good response if we've sold a property and we've sent letters out to people in the neighbouring areas. Then the uptake on that is good. So I completely get that. As a sort of a very useful sort of advertising medium.
Yeah, and we've changed so much as a business. Yes, it's about leaflets, flyers, lovely glossy brochures. More and more so, it's what we call a large format offering. At the moment, we're into a whole new world of social distancing. Our team there have been all guns. Well, I say team. There's only three of us in. It's been Kieran really. Been going all guns blazing, getting our offering right around floor stickers, wall vinyls, all these kind of things that people return back to the workplace are looking at now and scratching their head, thinking, okay, well, how do we remind people to keep 2 meters, and how do you know what 2 meters is? I think we all think we do. It wasn't until I kind of returned with a few others as a team here that we kind of realised, by putting markers down on the floor, how far away 2 meters is when you're in an enclosed space. It's further than what you think.
So how many people do you actually have working at Minuteman, Dave?
Yeah, well, usually there's 12 of us, full-time employees. We're down to 3 at the moment. So it's a big change. It's been a hit, but we will, as we get busier, we'll be bringing staff back as and when we need them. We're keeping them all fully aware of how business is looking. I was a bit worried Sunday evening when Boris told everyone to go to work. I kind of had a bit of a mini panic, thinking we'd turn up Monday morning and have a whole team outside expecting things to do. So, but no, they all understood really they had to wait for a call from us. But we're hoping over the next couple of months that we can get back a full team, back where we need to be. That's the aim.
Yeah. So what are you doing, to sort of in preparation for that? As you say, you've got quite a tight space and, team of 12 people. What sort of things are you kind of, doing? I mean, obviously, first thing I guess is looking at the government guidelines and what's necessary. But is that going to be is that going to be achievable?
Yeah, we're a surprisingly large kind of footprint here at Minuteman. We've got we're on Walcott Street, and that's where people see our shop and reception. Behind the scenes, we've got almost half a football pitch. So people generally kind of work in different rooms and things anyway. The main part is going to be our main production unit, which is in Beehive Yard, where we usually have 3 to 4 down there at a time. So we're going to have to be a little bit aware of kind of marking out those workspaces for them, how they hand jobs over, because we do have physical jobs we need to hand to the next person to finish. So we've got a little bit of work there to be doing. And just simple things like remembering. At the moment, we will, depending on which part of the building we're in, if that phone's ringing, we'll pick up a phone. And if you need to log on to a computer to check something out for a client, we're very used to going to the first computer we see or whichever's nearest for us. Running forward, things like sharing PCs and keyboards, that just won't be happening. Picking up somebody else's phone won't be happening. So there'll be little things we're doing ourselves to remind each other, don't share phones, don't share a keyboard. I think it's really interesting for some of these companies that have gone down kind of hot desking routes where people turn up at an office and you jump onto whichever PC is available that day for you. And then it's not, they've all moved down these light clients. And I'm wondering just how these offices who have reduced their hot desk spaces to say 70% of their full capacity, how they're going to operate. It's going to be very, very, very interesting world, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So part of the reason, obviously, I know you well, Dave, but I had a little thing through social media about your bounce back campaign. We were just chatting before we sort of went live. Can you tell me a little bit more about your campaign that you've got running now?
Yeah, it's one of these things. I could return to work here and twiddle my thumbs, wait for business to come in, and hope my clients are doing well. Or actually what I could do is turn it around and say, well, actually, I've got a bit of spare capacity whilst I'm here. We've got a great platform under the Bounce Back UK branding. So we've got Bounce Back Bath. It's run by Minuteman Press. It's run here in Bath by me. The idea is, yes, one is a free listings page for our clients and anyone in Bath any business in Bath to join. It's about telling people you're open or telling people I'm not open yet, but I'm going to be open soon. This is our plans. My role in that really is to share everyone who's on it, try to act as an extra marketing resource for Bath businesses. I think the more businesses that can come together, share activities, share ideas, I think the quicker we can get bouncing back into some sort of normal business. The Bounce Back campaign. Alongside that, we're going to be doing window stickers. So the company's up and running. We get the awareness of that branding out there. We're doing okay. We've got nearly 30 listings up on there in a couple of days.
I was going to say, yes. And how have you got those listings? That's purely through social media? People
mixture, social media, pick up the phone. Believe it or not, we still need to pick up the phone to people and tell them we're here and say, how can we help? A few emails have gone out. So, a bit of a mixture of everything, really. Starting with, your closest business contacts and you start working your way outwards. I think people quite like it. The more the business is on there and has their listing, they can share their listing. It means that other people will go in, they see obviously that company's listing and they start to see other listings from other businesses. And it goes back to that kind of bubble we live in. It's not until somebody else shares another business out there that you start maybe to hear from them. So we've always believed here at Minuteman Press that our success is driven by the success of our clients, and if we can help them be more successful, we'll be successful. It's a circular economy. Our business community has always been really, really good at supporting each other, and this, I hope, is just another tool that people can use. And I'm going to be here promoting it as much as I possibly can on behalf of our clients and any Bath business that decides to join it.
Fantastic. Well, that's certainly something which anybody watching, or later or now, they can get in touch with you, Dave. And I think that's a great idea, because Bath business community, it's very close knit, isn't it? And I think it's great if we can all sort of help each other, if you like, through this, it's fair to say, very challenging time. So aside from business, then, Dave, what have you been doing differently, or have you coped with the lockdown period?
Yeah, well, clearly, garden's looking amazing. Can't deny that. I've had a bit of time there, helping support my wife's business. She has her own business selling merchandise.
Okay.
So I've spent a little bit of time doing probably what she's always wanted me to do, is help her business out just that little bit more. So and I've learned things like, I'm not a detail person. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not a detail person. My wife is a detail person. Luckily, I think that's why we've been married for so long and get on so well. But I've picked up a few tips and gone, I've usually done a few things and left it to the rest of the team here, to Minuteman, to mop up after me and things like that. Whereas I suppose now, especially if we've got a smaller team here, it's been good training me to have that attention to detail that maybe, if I'm honest, I've lacked over the years. So it's.
I think we all have different skill sets, don't we? So you're very much the front man there, aren't you? And always driving the business forward, which is fantastic. Great asset to the company.
And actually, it's just great. Getting back into things, picking up the phone to our clients. Brilliant picking up the phone. I'll tell you what, picking up the phone is one of the best things you can do at the moment, because actually, we've all got a little bit more time. Time to have those conversations, share what we're doing as a business, share our thoughts, throw around marketing ideas, even. If anyone's feeling a bit bored and wants to phone here, I'm more than happy for a conversation. But I quite enjoy picking up that phone and dialing out. We're usually really, really busy, and all we're used to quite often is inbound. We're just dealing with inquiries, demands for quotes, demands with crazy deadlines to get printing out the door. It's really refreshing to have a little bit more time to just spend with our clients talking about business.
It's interesting. It's sort of lots of parallels with with what we've been doing. I found the same. Communication is key, isn't it? And if you do have that time, I mean, maybe that's something which how the business will evolve coming out, or differ to what it was before lockdown. Do you think?
Yeah, I think we'll all really value time that we have, either face to face or on the phone with people as business goes forward. And I think there's even more. I get that feeling there's even more that kind of genuine want for businesses to work together and to make, especially in Bath, I think one of the most successful places we can possibly want to do business. There is that drive. I know sometimes you get a bit of a, Bath gets a bit of a reputation sometimes of being kind of a bit sleepy when agencies come out of London and they like to set up in Bath. It's a bit of an easy roller and they don't have to worry about the pressure so much. I think in a roundabout way that also helps us work stronger and create stronger bonds with each other. In a roundabout way, I'm kind of looking forward to what the future might hold. I think we'll all appreciate the value of local businesses working together. Also,
definitely, absolutely right. This is part of this initiative, really. Just to sort of connect and hear about. I think it's really interesting to see, how everything is evolving. So, from a viewer's point of view, are there any sort of top, printing or marketing design? Are there any top tips which you would be able to sort of share with the viewers of this video, this broadcast?
I think it's really easy as a business to when times are tough, to start trimming the cloth and you start to look at what are overheads and what aren't. And I think it's really important to see your marketing spend, especially as an investment. However you do it, invest in your marketing, whether or not it's physical cash, buying things or doing printing, whichever, or picking up the phone and speaking to people. You should never underestimate that power. Really, I think we all get very used to kind of the online world where there's no buying or selling face to face as much anymore. And actually, I think if you start to put the value back in to your marketing activities and spend some real time thinking about it. And having actually that kind of genuine want for another business to do well, that just goes so far. We've always believed in that here at Minuteman Press. I have as an individual, and you do see that come around. You do see the rewards.
Yeah, well, I think so. You've always been very sort of prominent. Things like sponsorship of the Bath Life Awards and Bath Ball. I know you're very sort of central to a lot of Bath businesses. As I say, well-known face around the city. So I think that's really good advice. Finally, for anybody who is looking to move into the Bath area, obviously being an estate agent, but hearing from other local people living in the city, what would you say is special about? I mean, obviously there's so much to say, but what do you think the special things about Bath, which anybody moving in would like to hear about?
Yeah, I think you only have to walk. I'm lucky. I've lived in Bath my whole life, and sometimes actually, when you haven't lived too many other places too often, you kind of stop appreciating what we've got a little bit. You stop appreciating. It's too easy to stop appreciating the architecture or actually sometimes how clean our streets are and the care that people take. So we have such great businesses in Bath, who are there coming up with some great ideas. We've got a unique offering in the centre. I know, and I think every town gets criticism about kind of becoming clone cities or clone towns, the same kind of businesses going in. Well, actually, you need that kind of mix of those anchor kind of businesses that people will travel to your town to visit. But within that, I think we're lucky we do actually have a mix of the independents, the great cafes, the great bars.
Is there any favourites of yours there, Dave?
Any favourites? Oh, everywhere's a favourite. Everyone who's my client's a favourite, Peter. You know that. But we can't deny that. Sub 13, whatever anyone says, our little bar at the top of town there will always be our favourite. But the most important thing running forward is that when these places reopen, we need to be there for them. We need to be visiting. We need to be supporting our local businesses. And it was all very easy to say, well, let's support just the local, the independent local businesses. But actually, we need to support the whole mixture of local businesses, because if you don't have some of those anchor stores in there, some of those big names, the marketing for the city some of the marketing for the city kind of disappears. Those big names do draw in the people who then go and visit the smaller names and explore. The work that Bath Bid do, we're promoting this city not just to the tourism offer, but to the shopping offer is absolutely so important. And if we can continue to work together to remind people what a great offering we have across this city, I'm sure that this time next year we'll be looking back and I hope we'll be saying, well, that was tough work, but we're here, guys, and we're doing really well. I genuinely think we'll be feeling that.
Yeah. Well, as I said, if you can get through, we've had quite a few over the last few years. What with the credit crunch, 10 years ago, and then the Brexit debate. I mean, what was Brexit? Brexit,
we kind of thought we're over Brexit. People start spending it again, and actually we noticed as a business. I always like to think here we're a reasonable barometer of Bath's economic state. People are spending on their marketing and keeping busy, and we're doing a lot of printing. We kind of think that our businesses, our clients are doing quite well. And it was interesting. We had Brexit, and we could tell the economy in the city didn't feel right. It was hard work. But anyway, whichever people's views on that, we kind of got over that and a way forward. And beginning part of this year, it was pretty buoyant, and most people I was speaking to were pretty confident and looking forward to finishing off the year on a high. And all of a sudden, we've got coronavirus, and that great end of the year you were expecting. Now, well, that's out the window, and you're going to have a pretty appalling start to next year as well. And then all these other challenges. I feel for hospitality at the moment. I think they're all struggling to understand how they're going to reopen their trade at the minute. I feel for the hairdressers dying for a haircut. It's going to be really big. My 4-weekly haircut with a BA1 is really suffered. But trying to work through a way that they can return to work and start providing their services safely. It must be quite a nervous time for them. I'm sure it will resolve, but that moment of unsurety at the moment as to timescales, what we're doing, the arts, theatres, those kind of groups, I'm sure it's a really nervous time for them. But I think the most important thing is, if there's anything we can either do now to support them, or the moment they reopen, to go and support them. And it's not as if at the moment we have things like the coronavirus job retention scheme has been great for just for employers, so they don't have to make a whole load of redundancies. It's been great for the employees, and it's doing what it says on the tin. It's getting money into people's pockets, which is what the government want. They don't want spending to stop. I think actually at the end of this, there may just at least be that confidence to go out and carry on spending. I think we're all held back a little bit, so hopefully some of those pennies are still there when these places reopen to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fingers crossed. And as I said, it's good to hear that you've had 30 people sign up to your Bounce Back to Bath campaign, and that's something which can be really help sort of thrust things forward. And like you say, when we do return to some sense of normality, it's bit by bit it seems to be happening. But as you say, the bars, restaurants, and all the other industries which are really suffering, we definitely need to help support those. Yeah, that's great. Well, look, Dave, we've been going now 20 minutes.
Look at that, 20 minutes done.
Thank you ever so much. It's really to hear from you and get your insight. I knew you'd be really good to interview. And for the viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this. As I say, this is the first in the series. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be talking with Michael Kilpatrick from the opticians, so it'd be nice to hear from him. But finally, another big thanks to Dave for joining me, and I'm sure we'll see each other soon, mate.
I'm sure we will.
Okay, take care.
Great.
All the best. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.